So then this is just, I won't go through every little step, but this is just telling them how they should be watching the practice film. So again, it's really just going through the scope again. Like, step one is like knowing the situation. What is the emphasis of what you're watching at practice? Is it a first and second down period? Is it a third down period? What is the situation? Okay. And then making sure, I think it'll be in the next slide, like having the play calling, knowing the play call. I think a lot of times our guys were going and watching the film, and obviously we tagged the practice every single day and we're putting the call there, but they were just guessing what the call was. So having the play call up there, knowing the call, IDing the offense, the personnel and formation, what is your run responsibility? What is your pass responsibility? And then what is your key? And then how are you going to execute that? And then write down questions and ask your coach, what questions you may have. So then this just goes into more depth of like, well, where do you find the practice film? Again, assume nothing. I'm not assuming anything. So we're breaking it down so they know where to find it at. And then the other big thing we're just talking about having the defensive play call, or maybe what do you call a formation, up on the screen. So we're breaking down how to use the columns on Huddle, excuse me. So the columns tab is located below the video screen. So we break that down, and then, depending on what type of film they're watching, whether it may be practice, game, or opponent scout, what column should they be using to watch that film, where they could see all the information that we would want them to have when they're watching the film. Okay, so just showing them where the columns are at, how they select them, which column to use. Okay, so again, pretty much the same breakdown of the things they should be looking for as they watch opponent scout film as well. Maybe a couple slight differences, but again, they should just be writing down questions, or obviously trying to find tendencies from the offense as well as you're watching the opponent. Okay, so again, going back to the column, so when they're watching our opponent that we're going to play, watching their film, we want to make sure they're using our defense opponent scout column. That's going to give them the columns and the information they would need to see as they're watching the film. And then, when you're watching our game film, again, just going through those same steps, 1 through 6 of what you should be looking for, pre-snap routine and all that stuff. And then evaluating the execution of, your technique or a player at your position. It might not necessarily always be them watching themselves. Okay, and then when they're watching our game film, we want to make sure they're using the defensive self-scout column. So again, just breaking that down and making sure they understand that.